What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know some of y'all have commented on some of my past videos saying, where are the technical courses in NorCal? It seems like you guys do four corner crits and that's it. Well, here it is. This is the Cherry Pie Criterium. It's known for being probably the most technical course we have on our calendar here in NorCal. And as you can tell from the map, it is a doozy. It happens every year on the 3-day weekend for President's Day we have in the United States. And it is kind of the first gem of the NorCal season that people really want to win. So it attracts a strong squad. We had Mike Spikes, the guys in purple, and tons of other strong individuals here. And it made for a fast, aggressive, challenging race, and that's what we like here. So let's jump into this. Let's see how I do. There are a few funny and sketchy moments. There are some crashes, as you would expect with a race like this. Oh, here's the first one. This Altavelo rider gets crossed up and he takes the escape road. I don't know, do we do like Formula One rules where he has to like give the place back? I don't know how that works. Comment if you know the rule for that. But yeah, let's jump into this. Let's talk about cornering, because obviously that is very important with this. And yeah, let's see if we can learn something. All right, so I have done this race a few times, and the name of the game is just keep yourself in like the top 20, preferably the top 10, and the best is like the top 5. But you definitely want to start up near the front and try to stay there, because gaps are going to open up like crazy through all these corners, and unless you want to be sprinting and closing them, you should definitely avoid dropping back in the pack. We said in our group chat prior to this on Terun, don't tail gun. It is a very, very bad idea to tail gun. So we just went through the bottom technical section, and now we're going into this long start finish straight, and it wasn't too windy. Some days this race can be very windy, but there was a slight kind of tail cross through this section pushing us to the right, and that is basically a lap here. So here I am following my teammate Brian, and he goes to attack right there, and the gap closes up really quick. Most people were attacking down this start finish straight, but I think the best place to attack was actually either into or out of some of the technical sections. But this little chicane was my favorite part on the course. You basically just like ripped into this like 3-4 wide, and then there was a long runoff, and you didn't have to touch brakes at all. You could fly into that section. And you can see in the rear cam, it's already super strung out, and we've already dropped probably like 10 or 15 guys. And yeah, that's just going to keep happening. This is a race of attrition. It's almost like a cyclocross race, and everyone's sort of like doing their own pace. You know, there is drafting obviously on the straightaways, but through these corners, there's a speed limit, and you're kind of just punching out of it. And everyone has a limit, and you're just trying to not go over it. This turn that we're going into right now was the trickiest, at least for me. The pavement was pretty crappy. The pavement actually wasn't great in a few spots on this course, which is a little sketchy when you're leaning your bike over. But I found that you could go on the outside of that turn, and then it set you up for the inside of these next few turns, and that put you in a pretty good position going into the start finish straight, where people were going to be jamming on the power all day long. So on this course, I think if you're going to crash, chances are it's actually going to be a pedal strike. Most people would think that you are going to be sliding out in these tight turns, but pedal strikes are actually, I think, the number one cause of crashing. And speaking of which, there's one right there. Good save by those guys. So with pedal strikes, I think the most important thing is just be patient. You can't pedal when your bike is leaned over, obviously, and nothing makes you want to pedal more than seeing the gap in front of you open up. But you just have to be patient. You know, if you didn't go into the corner perfectly and preserve your momentum, that gap might start opening up. But just be patient, get your bike unleaned, and then just do a little bit more power. You know, we all had to do it. Even the best bike handlers in the field were opening up gaps every now and again. So yeah, don't worry about it. Keep it zen, keep it patient, keep it rubber side down. It's probably the most important thing about racing. All right, so I've been talking an awful lot about this sock puppet looking course, and it does, don't get me wrong, it does play more of a role in this race than in some four corner and non technical crits, but we still are racing a very, very strong field. And my teammate Travis, he just did a little dig, and it's a great time to attack when your teammate is on the front because you know that he's not going to chase, and you're basically guaranteed to get a little gap. So I'm taking this flyer off the front, and this basically was our goal. You know, this course really doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have a ton of advantage sitting in the pack. You're probably going to, get a little bit of draft on these straightaways, but then you're going to have to deal with the accordion effect and gaps opening up and everything that goes with riding in a group in a technical course like this, as I almost overshoot that corner into the cones. That was definitely a tricky corner. I was not the only one to do that. But yeah, I'm not super happy to see Jeff from NorCal Cycling Videos on my wheel. Obviously, he is a super good sprinter, but I'm going to continue this dig and see if we can get a gap. So I wasn't pulling like full out because Jeff is in my wheel, obviously, but I remember I was going pretty hard here, and you can look behind and the field is basically on us. So they were on it. I don't think at this point in the race it hasn't been long enough. There hasn't been enough attrition to fully snap that elastic. As well as Jeff, he definitely took a soft pull here, and this was just telling me that all right, Mike's is probably going to be going for a bunch sprint. They had the most guys in the race, so that was a good little data point to collect. So here we are, only a few laps ahead, and I decided to give it some gas again. It felt like the field was lulling, and again, I think that I wish I just would have done this like into or out of the technical sections, because you wouldn't have to do this big surge in power. And you're gonna see coming up here that I start paying for some of these efforts, and we stick off the front for about a lap or so, maybe a little bit more. Some people join us, but Jeff from Mike's Bikes comes up and kills it. And yeah, it's just another match burned. Just because you can attack doesn't mean you should. I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. All right, so we get reeled in eventually. We stick out there for like 5 minutes or so, and this move that I was in sets up this brutal counterattack by Ryan from Mike's Bikes. Ryan was probably our number one threat, and my teammate Matt goes to try to cover it, but Ryan already has a gap, and he is so strong, and he is an amazing bike handler. I mentioned that he has the downhill Mount Diablo, king of the mountain, so he knows how to go through the corners quick. And not only that, he has a strong Mike's Bikes team that is going to try to clog it up for him and, get to the front of this field, hit brakes in the corners, and help him keep and extend his gap. So I was super proud of the team. You see my teammate Zach, he just goes up the left side and instantly starts pulling. By the way, he raced Valley of the Sun the 3 days prior to this, flew in, built his bike in the parking lot, and raced with us. So what a beast, what a guy. Check out his YouTube channel. So here are my teammates going to start rotating. Totally an awesome team effort. This saved the race. And I'm just going to show you what Mike's tries to do. So I instantly start getting in this big fight. I think this is Roman, and also the new rider Sean. They really try to start clogging it up and separating me from my teammates, so I can't contribute to the chase, and that helps out Ryan. So we kind of do this back and forth where I pass them and then they pass me back, and this is racing. It is definitely a team sport. Having team support is incredibly important in these races when everyone is so strong. And yeah, props to my teammates Brian, Zach, and Travis for pulling this back. That was an amazing sight to see. All right, so this has been a hard race. My heart rate didn't drop much below 170 very often, but we have 3 laps to go. We are starting to see the Mike's Bikes lead out train amass at the front. I think we are a little disjointed as Tarun. What would have been great is if we amass kind of like right next to or behind the Mike's Bikes guys, but I think we were feeling a little cooked. I know I was. and I'm a little far back here. I have my teammate Brian and Matt around me, but I'm going to try to move up and then hopefully plant myself on the wheel of the Mike's Bike Sprinter. So my teammate Matt is right in front of me, and I'm going to try to get on his wheel to have a little bit of team support. But I take that shot from that Volet rider, the kind of green and blue kit, and I get shuffled back here because I have to grab a dab of brake. And what I really needed to do was stick on that rider in purple. That's Ryan. He's back up there, the wind-up doll. All right, so I am way too far back. This is not good. You know, I'm probably in like 15th or so right here, but I do have my teammates. Zach is in front of me, and then Brian is in front of him. So I'm communicating with them that, look, we need to punch it on the main start finish straight. I think we have 2 laps to go here. So when we go through the start finish this next time, it's going to be bell lap. So I'm yelling at them that we're going to have to punch it, and I take this kind of wide line because I'm trying to get a really good exit out of this corner, and it ended up saving me because that guy goes down right there, and I have to grab a touch of brake, and it takes out Zach, which sucks. And I'm just scrambling here trying to get on pace with that front group, and that Mike's Bikes lead out train is not slowing down at this point. And I'm worried about trying to push it a little too hard in these corners. You know, I think when you see a crash like that or a field split, you oftentimes see crashes that follow. You know, they're like aftershocks. And there was another crash. I tried to find it. I heard it during the race, but I couldn't see it in my rear cam. It was behind me somewhere. So just try to remain calm. You know, it's very, very difficult in a situation like this, but don't overcook one of those corners and take yourself out. You know, just like I said, try to be patient. Don't clip a pedal. And I'm pulling it back here. My heart rate is climbing up. I am breathing through my eyeballs. You know, I'm wishing I did more VO2 intervals prior to this, but I make it back on, and now we're into the bell lap. So I'm back on, but it's like one of those things, it's like, at what cost? And let me tell you guys, it was a big cost, but I'm going to try to recover here through this technical section. And it's just going to be tough because you don't corner as well when you are breathing through your eyeballs. Everyone knows it. And I'm going to take this funky line, and a gap is going to open up. And, you know, maybe 30 minutes prior, I'd be able to punch and close this down, but I am just like on the limit. And yeah, it's painful to watch, but let me know what you guys think. Would you like a course like this? Would you say no way, like I'm not regging for that, that looks dangerous, or would you enjoy all these corners? And if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing as I'm doing another sprint effort to close this down. You know, I still have some punch, but it's just I'm on the ragged edge, and it's hard to make good decisions and win a race when you're on the absolute ragged edge, you know. But I make it back up here. I'm in the thick of it again, and I'm thinking, all right, just take a breath. But I take another funky line, and they're punching out of this corner as well. You know, that Mike's Bikes lead out train is not slowing down. And again, I'm just too far back. You know, even if I was on those guys' wheels right up there, I'm too far back to contest the wind because there's already like 4 Mike's Bikes riders, and then, you know, whatever, a handful of others. But it is what it is. I learned a lesson here, you know, and luck obviously plays a role in this. You know, it sucks to get caught up in one of those crashes, but I'm gonna try to pop off a little sprint here, and I end up taking 9th. My teammate Matt ended up 3rd, and then Mike's Bikes took 1-2. Ryan, the protagonist of the day, he ended up taking the win. Super well deserved, I gotta say. What a rider. But yeah, this was super fun. I enjoy races like this. It's basically like war on bikes, you know. It's so frantic. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you're not subscribed, thinking about subscribing. I'm about to go off to Tucson to race the Tucson Bicycle Classic, so gonna make some videos about that. And yeah, if you all have listened this long, you're a champion, and I will see you guys real soon.